stand up real quick.
They didn't coordinate this.
Did not plan this.
Yeah.
Down to the pants, the shoes. Right, I feel very welcome. I was told I had to start shaving my head when I started back in October. Excited to be here, really. Let's jump into numbers. We'll tell you a little bit about ourselves. Yeah. So Brock alluded to some of the initiatives that we're looking at this year. We subscribe to a service called Zonda. Zonda gives us builder data, real estate data across multiple markets. When we talked to them over the last couple of months, in our core markets, there were 460,000 purchase transactions in Utah, Idaho, Washington, Southern California, and Arizona. Of those 460, before we change it, 138 of those were new construction. In a normal market, a healthy market, about 10% of all purchases are new homes. In 2024, that number was about 15%. Last year, that number skyrocketed to just about 30%. So 30% of every purchases that are happening now involve a home builder and a builder purchase. Anyone want to guess how many Intercap was involved in 2025?
84.
84?
That was me.
We're a little bit better. A little bit more. We were involved in 279 transactions. Time?
And honestly, you guys, I don't want this to sound negative at all, right? We look at these numbers and we see such a huge opportunity for growth, and literally it could be every single one of your guys' business. And so the reason that we're here today, and we'll introduce ourselves a little bit later, but is to focus on this opportunity and really figure out ways that we can grow your business and partner on this. Our goal for 2026 as a team, and as all of us here are a team at Intercap Lending, is to close 600 units, and so to just over double that. How do we get there, right? Let's go back to this 279 super quick. We really honestly did an inventory of where our closings were coming from when we first started this project. And the good news is we do have a handful of really great relationships with home builders right now. Love you, Cheyenne, again. No, but there are a handful of honestly really deep-rooted, successful and growing relationships, which is awesome and a huge part of that number. The next piece of that number, you guys, is loyal buyers and loyal buyers agents. This is something that I think speaks to your guys' reputation that, hey, your client or your realtor will not work with a preferred lender, they will work with you and close on that home. Awesome, awesome. The last thing, something I know that we are extremely good at Intercap Lending is you guys save deals. You get creative, you want to help your clients get through, and not only that, but you help people feel confident, right? Confident that it's going to go through, confident that you're going to get it done. And then we shout out Jameson and some of his teams and ask Mike, right, that help us, get there. And so this is the full picture of where we were in 2025. We really believe with a little expertise, a little focus, strategy, we can get to that 600 number with you guys. What do I do at Intercap? Well, for the last 18 months, you guys, have been on a special project, which has been really fun. But I started at Intercap actually fresh out of college and bopped around a little bit. Most recently, I was a producing loan officer on an amazing team in Lisa Walters' branch. And about 18 months ago, I was approached by Brock and Steve, and they asked me to leave origination. And it was kind of emotional for me, actually. It wasn't something I expected, but what they wanted me to focus on was new relationships with home builder partners that were cold to us. We'd never met them. We're trying to learn and grow and see what we can find out and produce from those relationships. And so what did that really look like? Over the last 18 months, I met with about 75 home builders on a national level. For sure, some were local to our branches, but most of them across the nation. And it was anywhere from that highly custom luxury builder to someone building, 300 or 500 production homes in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. There was a variety. And my goal not only was to just learn that business, learn what builders cared about, how their organizations were set up, because it is unique, but also to see where Intercap might be able to add value to those relationships and place our mortgage lenders on those accounts. And so over those 18 months, you guys partnered with a handful of you, and we were able to close just over 100 units from those brand new accounts.
When they asked earlier for everyone to stand up who's been here less than a year, I'm one of those people. I started in October. Please come see me. I want to meet everyone. There are a few of you that I've been able to interact with over the last 3 months, and I want to interact with all of you. My story is, for the last 13 years, I've run DHI Mortgage, so D.R. Horton's affiliated mortgage company here in Utah, covering parts of California, Washington, Oregon, Utah, Nevada, running a team that was doing, when I started, about 150 units a year, and then in 2024 we were averaging year over year about 2,000 units. So I've managed a really large builder accounts, dealing with multiple builders across multiple states. In August, the best thing in the world ever happened to me. My bosses came and said, "You've done a great job here. We think it'd be great for you if you could find something else that you could find your next passion," right? And it was fantastic. Eric doesn't know this, I'm sad Eric's not here, but Eric called me one night after this all happened, and I had actually just hung up with Lennar Mortgage in Charlotte and was about to move my family back to South Carolina and North Carolina and run those branches when Eric called me for the second time in my career and said, "You really should come talk to us." The first time was 15 years ago when I was going to DHI. So I've known Eric for a long time. We've been introduced through mutual acquaintances for years, and Eric was talked about earlier by Josh. He's brilliant, he's fantastic, and he and I would stay in contact for years, and we've talked multiple times over the years about coming to work for him. This time it happened to line up. So I've been in the business for almost 30 years. Had the great pleasure of working with Ashley Garcia in a previous relationship where I was Will Fair's account executive at Greenpoint Mortgage. So I've been around the mortgage business for a long time and am really excited to start this new venture here at Intercap. So 30 years in the mortgage business, about the last 20 of that around home builders. It's given me a unique insight into how builders speak and how they do their business. They are a different breed. They do things their own way, you bend to their will at times, and they want what they want when they want it. The joy of having spent a lot of time with them is there's a level of trust working with those builders that I've built over years, and allows us to be able to come in and speak to them in a manner which they accept, and it automatically builds trust with Intercap.
Really quick, will you raise your hand if you've closed a home builder deal, even if it was like a one-off in 2025 or one that you have an account that you've worked well? Do you guys just mind raising your hand really quick? I think you'll be surprised. Awesome. I have to speak on this because we need to work as a team in order for any of these home builder projects to work, right? In order to become a preferred lender, a successful preferred lender on any of these accounts. I can say this about Taylor because it's self-proclaimed for him, but he is our data nerd. He loves the numbers and he learns things from the numbers, he understands them differently, and he's really good at it, and I love that. And I like that part, right? But I really love the people and the relationships, and I love helping someone feel warm and welcome to open up. And so part of this, you guys, of what we're able to do is not only involve you in our team and really help you shine, because honestly, you're the most important part of this whole puzzle. Again, speaking to how you make buyers feel confident, you maintain relationships with sales agents. and can close a loan, right? We don't originate, we don't want to originate, we're not good at it, and but you are. And so us as a team can work together, define the problems, speak builder, and really be able to make a huge difference for some of these builder partners.
Sicily talked about us being a team. One of the conversations we had when we started this, and as we've met with some of you, is trying to define where is the best use of your time and your talents. And no offense, you guys don't need to spend time building reports, giving out pipeline reports, running data for builders. That's just not an effective use of your skill set. You guys need to be out in the field working with real estate agents, buyers, listing agents. So the whole purpose of what we're trying to create is giving you a mechanism to give you more time to focus on your money-making tasks. Less on the data, less on the back end, less on those corporate relationships, more time in the field working with your buyers, agents, listing agents, and buyers.
Love it. And on that note too, you guys, when we started this project like middle of October, where we were really focused on how can we bring business to our local branches. And the first thing we did was we went to the field of our relationships that are successful, prospects and just people in that builder network. And we asked what makes like a valuable partner when it pertains to lending. You'll see these 4 quadrants here. There was a ton of different answers, right, and feedback, which honestly it was great. But everything that we built stems directly from what our clients are telling us that they want to hear from us. And when we talk about the life cycle of a builder, really what it is templates, it's automations, it's systems in place, it's teamwork, it's networking, it's relationships. It's this whole full circle thing that we can pull from and that's ready for us to use and go and add value to those builders. We actually thought that we would just plug a builder into this circle and it would be successful and great. But what we actually found out, you guys, is that each builder is so unique and it's great that it's ready for use, but each builder will take something different from this account. And so, I love Steve. I've been working really closely with him over the last 18 months. But what he's going to speak on, and a few others in the audience, is just kind of, hey, how did this home life cycle, contribute to the relationship, and maybe what was our involvement as a team? So give it up for Steve.
Dad would drive me to do this. I'm not a huge speaker, but with it, Sicily was a huge piece of the puzzle. Sicily does all the things that I really suck at. Following up, sending gifts, thank yous. She's so positive. I'm more of the person that just sits, grinds through a loan, make it work. But she's been a huge piece of it. The builder we're talking about here is in North Carolina, so it's not even in Utah. So she was willing to fly out and meet with them and throw me on a Zoom meeting on a screen so that they could see my face, and just told lies of how great I was. So, but it was a huge piece of it. And then the reporting to them, that's what they love. When a builder sends you a lead, even if they know it sucks, they want to know what happened with it, or hey, can it make it work? So that piece of just the follow-up for it. It was a pretty rocky start. This builder had quite a few preferred lenders. So to get in and to be able then to be willing to even give us a shot. And I think without Sicily, they probably would have never given me a shot.
You're so nice,
No,
and it's not
true.
true.
No, it's
Our
true.
accounts, they'll be like, I love Steve Carter. Oh, can Steve come see us, please? I'm like, he's working, you guys. He's closing your loans.
But it really was, but it has been better and better, and just with the communication and her filling in the gaps of where I'm not good was a huge piece of the puzzle. So if you have a builder, use them. They're a great resource. If you're not using them, you're missing out for it there. So yeah, that's pretty much my main piece of the puzzle.
Steve.
So thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Nico, come on up. And we should say as they're walking up here, Brock hasn't let us really come out and talk to all of the branches. He let us talk to the branch managers about 6-7 weeks ago and introduce what we were starting. And then it was kind of, hey, can we beta test this with a few of our established accounts or some accounts that needed some love? And that's where Caruso and Nico's account's going to come in, and also our next guest speaker.
Thank you, Nico.
Thanks for having me up here. Yeah, came under fire last year. I think is a good way to say what happened with my account. I work with a builder who, like many builder, felt the pressures of 2025. A lot more inventory, put pressure on them to sell more homes. Well, how do you sell more homes? You may or may not believe this, builders like their margins. So what do? They look elsewhere to see how can we get more buyers. And that's what happened with my relationship specifically is we had a broker that got in their ear, started to cast some doubts. They started to look elsewhere. Things got a little bit shaky. And at the same exact time, I was introduced to Taylor and Sicily. And they both stepped in. We kind of put together a game plan on how we were going to remarket this builder. And what we did is we created massive amount of trust and transparency with this builder. I went from being the preferred lender in one, I guess really two communities. I was hoping to have the numbers here last year. I think we ended up closing 19 loans for them in 2025. And right now we've got 14 loans we're closing in February, and then another 10 in March, with more to come. So 200 plus projected closings in 2026. And honestly, it's all due to these guys stepping in, making me look like a pro. And I hope you're going to show some Domo screens and stuff that we're working on.
See us in person, we'll show you the Domo. I don't want to be Clayton. I don't want to get up here and show Domo reports. But come see me, and we'll show you what we've been working on for 3 months, really from scratch, building something from scratch.
And Nico's being nice, but you guys, as much as we show up and want to be a part of an account, like Nico also, all hands on deck in an account, asking for feedback. What have you seen? You got feedback from the sales agent. How can I do better? So you're very complimentary, and I love that. But also, you showed up, and this is why the results are the way they are. So thank you. Good job.
Thank you, guys.
And last but certainly not least, we have Scott Gibson.
Scott, come on
where
up.
you at?
Scott Gibson.
Scott just brings the party energy. I don't know, something about him.
I have to do
PG, Scott, PG, 5 minutes.
PG, but
We've already worn Cheyenne.
I was toned down by Cheyenne yesterday because if any of you know me, I really don't like to talk much, but apparently I can identify. Thank you, Cheyenne.
I'll zip it.
My situation is a little bit different than the other two because as a branch manager in St. George, we have had a relationship with the builder West. And by the way, I didn't, so if anything on there doesn't get talked about, they just said, hey, just talk, you're good at talking, and that'll work. But so the relationship started since I started the branch in 2018. We didn't have a co-west relationship here in Southern Utah, down in St. George. We had it in Northern Utah. Colin and Josh been friends forever, but it was lacking, and so they went to co-west. Co-west said, hey, we want to represent Southern Utah the same way we're getting Northern Utah, intercap partnership, relationship. And they came and they said, hey, we've got a gal that's been working with us for a long time. She's done a great job. So the only way we're going to allow that to happen is if you guys hire her, a Gerald Town. Okay? So with that, we hired Gerald Ann and her team, and they came over, and the co-west relationship began. Well, over the duration of the last 8 years, co-west South has made a lot of changes in their management team, executives who's running the show down there, and with that became a little bit of a deterioration of our capture rate because of the management team that they hired. Things happened to kind of slowly disintegrated the situation. Well, we started looking at Brock and Steve, and everybody started looking at the numbers, and they weren't good. So in comes Wonder Woman and Superman, right? And I just need to stop real quick and say, if you've seen this slide of Taylor, or if you've ever been on a Zoom call with Taylor, or you've ever just chatted with Taylor, he's the most relaxed, chill dude I've ever seen.
I am not feeling that right
He's
now.
in a 3/4 recline, dude. He's just chilling, makes everything calm for me. Like when I'm talking with people, he's just a calm, great guy. So very knowledgeable as well. And so with the help of these guys, we met with the Coal West representatives now. The new vice president there, kind of a hard ass. Sorry, I know this is maybe a PG group, but stern, very short. And he had his way, and he said, here's what we're going to do. We want this. This is what we want you guys to do if you want to be a partner. Taylor and I met. Taylor's been meeting with him on the backside. Taylor has a relationship with him from afar. Hortonisms, is that what you call it? Yeah, they talk Hortonisms from a past relationship, which is lame, but either way, it's there. But so with that, they developed this relationship. And we promised, we met with them together, and we promised that we are going to do what they want. We heard what they had to say. We told them exactly what Taylor mentioned earlier, Sicilee earlier, about letting the loan officers do what they do. Because Geraldine did an amazing job, but she was also doing the report. She was also attending every meeting. She was held accountable for every item, okay? Well, with that, Taylor's sitting in on the meeting. I sit in on the meetings as well as a branch manager, but it's allowed our loan officers, Sergio and Geraldine, to attend to the loans, and the perception out there has been phenomenal. So with that change, we've had 4 emails since December from the 2 executives there, appreciating our service there and us listening and really doing the job they wanted. And the job they wanted was probably being done a little bit before, but it was taken wrong because Geraldine was running around like doing everything she do this way and that way, and it didn't perceive that it was being done right. That's all changed. So now our goal this year is to maintain, and we would be, I don't remember the number we did last year, but we are going to do in our branch 100+ loans from Coal West South this year alone. And it's all because of the development of these guys and the work that they did with the knowledge, and then the follow through that we're going to do, allowing our loan officers to take care of the clients.
Thanks, Scott.
Every relationship is different. We want to bring these 3 people up because they had very different needs. And they really fit inside of that life cycle of a builder that we keep talking about. The best thing, we want to partner with you guys. We are not loan officers. We're not going to come in and take over your production. We want to help you grow your business going into 2026 and beyond. There is a huge potential in the new construction space, and we're already hearing a lot about it as we've started this division. We're getting calls that we never thought we'd get that are now coming through. And there's going to be lots of opportunities. So come talk to us. We'll show you my nerdy reports, and we'll talk to you about how we can help you grow your business.
And here, just to keep it so simple for you guys, easiest steps to working with us. We, for the next 2 afternoons, are doing what's called Exploration Hour. Taylor and I will be available, and genuinely, we want to work with you. We want to partner with you. We're going to get to that 600 number one way or another, and I hope that a lot of you are a part of that growth. So thank you for having us, and let's have an awesome 2026.
We have like 2 minutes here, so are there any questions before we get off the stage? And you won't hurt my feelings if there are no questions. I want that to be very clear.
Yes, Eric. Oh.
Eric, go. I was just going to ask, in San Diego, I don't think our ranch is really doing any of this business. And
I wasn't going to mention that.
But I really want to. It's like, and so I assume we're probably going to be meeting with you guys to figure it out. But is there something different about our market, or is it just we're just asleep at the wheel?
You have a heavily saturated market with national builders, with a lot of their own affiliated mortgage companies. And a lot of what we're hearing from those accounts right now is they have a very defined acceptance of what they're going to do on their loans. So we're now hearing from some of those in the background that you guys are willing to make exceptions, you're willing to kind of look outside the box as long as you can justify the loan. So we're actually being able to bring some of those loans back to them, so they're not having to resell the home 3 and 4 times. So we are hearing from some of those, and I do have some contacts in Southern California that I've been talking to.
And two, like maybe it's not right in San Diego, right where you guys are at, but like Palm Desert, Palm Springs, there's definitely opportunities. And yes, on like visiting you guys, we're calling it the branch tour. I don't know if we're gonna have a party bus. I don't know if we're probably just gonna hop on a flight, but we'll come see you guys for sure in this first quarter and ultimately take this conversation further with each of you. Thanks, Emery.
My question was not very far off the is. Basically, I've approached builders in the past, but the hard part is finding the right person to speak to. That's been the biggest challenge. So I've talked to a lot of people, like, yeah, sure, talk to somebody else. But you just can't get their number or find out who that talk to.
Yeah, the great secret about who is the decision maker,
Yeah, exactly.
right? Who actually makes the decisions, and that's where we can help you kind of navigate that. So from your perspective, from the sales perspective, is always start with your agent. You do that first deal with them, you earn their confidence. You do that second deal with them, you build more confidence, which then we ask for the conversation. And at that point, come see us, we'll step in and we'll come in and talk to them. If there's someone you want to go after, you have a relationship already that you just haven't been able to formalize, come see us. We want to have those conversations.
And I'm gonna add to that because honestly, you guys should feel really empowered because it's been such a rough couple of years for home builders. They're looking at their preferred lenders and they're looking at what can we change, what is the competition doing? Like people are looking. If you have closed a loan, like those of you who raise your hand in 2025, like that's where we start. Who was the home builder? What was the transaction like? How was your conversations with the agents, right? But you'll be surprised what can trickle in to that organization by just a really good experience and a really great service. But yeah, I would just tell you to be encouraged and we'll help you with the executives.
Okay, question for you too, how are you?
Hi.
You said you had some insight into some tools to identify, what the builders are doing and who they're working with. And so my question is, in Washington, we have D.R. Horton and Lennar, we've got all these huge builders, as you said. We've also got the little pocket builders, because there's not a lot of dirt left in our area. But like in Eastern Washington, there is some availability. Do you have a way to identify what builders, maybe like a little mid-sized builder that's doing 30, 50, 100 units a year that we might want to go after?
You are now my new favorite person. Yes. Funny thing is when we met with Zonda, we have the subscription for, when we talked about the markets where we're, our core markets, their words to us specifically was Washington, Oregon, northern Idaho, down into Reno is where we should focus a lot of our time because you have a lot of builders doing 35 to 100 deals and aren't big enough to have their own mortgage company, but they're building a lot of spec and they have a lot of developed land, and it's a great spot to come in. So it is a definite target for us.
And we can help you with names and plan of attack for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shelly. Awesome. Any other questions, you guys, before we break for lunch? Okay. Well, thank you so much again for having us on here. And Taylor,